how... Is this thing on? They're coming for me. I don't know how long I have left, but in the time that I have, I wanted to draw some pictures. Hi everyone. With Christmas just around the corner, I thought that this would be a great opportunity to be late for Halloween. What are creepypastas, really? No, they are not the Auntie Donna sketch of an Italian giving birth in a bowl of pasta. Creepypastas are horror-related legends or images that have been copied and pasted around the internet. These internet entries are often brief, user-generated paranormal stories intended to scare, frighten, or discomfort readers. Some of you watching this will be veterans and know all sorts of niche ones, but even those of you watching this who don't think you have seen a creepypasta, you probably have. Slender Man is one of the most famous of the creepypastas, spawned from creepy pictures of a tall man in a suit in the woods, and spawning all sorts of different fan fiction and games and short films. Ben Drowned is another one that's really well known, of sort of mixed media storytelling. Jeff the Killer is one of those images that have been seen around, and again sort of originates in this sort of subculture. Entire universes like the Backrooms and the whole SCP universe have spawned from creepypasta stories. My knowledge of creepypastas is very surface level. Basically that stuff that I've already mentioned is about as much as I know about creepypasta, and I got the help of Benny, my editor, to prepare some of the more known, less known creepypastas that I have no familiarity with, so that I can attempt to depict them based just on their stories and how they're described. And then we can reveal what the original images were and how close I got. So let's dive deep into the world of the creepiest of pasta. Starting with Mr. Widemouth. Mr. Widemouth appears as a small, furry creature with dark brown, greyish fur, as well as big, black, bulging eyes with white irises. The most noticeable feature of Mr. Widemouth is his wide mouth, which stretches across his face. Not to be mistaken by a Furby, but not too dissimilar, I guess, in size and perhaps proportion. Mr. Widemouth's main trait, especially in these stories that he is in, is one where he manipulates children to take part in deadly games, which usually result in the death of the child. Mr. Widemouth is commonly seen holding weapons, usually things like kitchen knives, and is particularly charismatic and manipulative to children, enticing them to play games that will result in their demise. Now, I have a few ideas brewing for my version of Mr. Widemouth. Such a Mr. Widemouth! I don't know, there's something about the name that's not particularly threatening, but don't be mistaken. Mr. Widemouth is a creepy pasta boy. Man, Miss Gerbil. Now, with a few pieces of concept art under my belt, I want to depict a scene depicting Mr. Widemouth having accomplished what puts that big old smile on his little face. I want to draw this from the perspective of, let's say, an adult walking in the room at the end of it all, looking down into the perspective of the image of Mr. Widemouth looking up, holding a knife left over from some of the recent games he's been playing. And scattered about the bedroom are some other toys and games used by the child, sprinkling this image with innocence before I taint it forever with horror. That's right, lying a little out of view behind the corner of the bed is the Playmate. This is so dark so quickly, oh my god. I want to walk the line of not being so violent that YouTube is gonna strike me or shut this video down, but at the same time, it's hard to convey child murder without it being a little bit uncomfortable. Especially as a dad. This is one definitely freaks me out. And that's my depiction of Mr. Widemouth. I am very curious as to what the actual Mr. Widemouth looks like. I want to remind you, I haven't seen any of these. They've been just prepared in their descriptions for me. That was my depiction, but the original is... the hell? It's like a demonic possum. It's so dumb. Okay, all right, I dig it. It's sort of like Yoda Furby with manic eyes. It's fun. I like it. I'm not creeped out for some reason. I don't know, I'm getting Cheshire Cat vibes, but it's fun. Let me know how I did compared to the original. Okay, I haven't just been running from creepypastas. I've also been running to work really hard on my color quest kit, which I'm putting together to release on Kickstarter early next year. Complete with two 50-page coloring books, one in landscape and one in portrait, with 100 unique illustrations, all on single-page print 300 GSM high-quality marker paper with perforated edges so you can remove them neatly, and spiral bound so they fold over themselves for ease of use. On top of producing these amazing coloring books, we're also putting together a custom epic bundle that includes a set of 48 Ohuhu Honolulu markers that I have handpicked each color to myself and actually used rigidly for the last year in testing to make sure it feels like I have all the colors I need, and I can confirm to you, this is the best set of 48 markers you will ever find anywhere. If you love the adventures I take you on through art on this channel, you are gonna love the color quest. And if you liked my videos on creating SCP characters based on their descriptions, a lot of those art pieces are in the color quest as well, ready for you to bring to life. Now, this isn't guaranteed that it's going to be available. We are launching it on Kickstarter, and we just really hope that we can hit our funding goal. So we're going to be launching early next year, and in order for us to reach that goal, I would really appreciate if you sign up to that pre-launch page. I'll put the link in the description, and you can sign up to be notified as soon as we go live, so you can help make this dream, this color quest adventure, a reality. We've been working on this for a long time, and I am so pleased with how this has come out. You're going to absolutely love it. Now, back to the video. But next we're going to start getting a little wilder and weirder, moving on to Siren Head. Based on an original image made by Trevor Henderson. Apparently it's not a true creepypasta, but people have written stories off the back of the image's circulation, transforming it by effect of, I guess, the community creepypastaing the original image. Siren Head is known for its distinctly tall stature, at about 40 feet tall, and it iconically has sirens for a head. Bet you didn't see that one coming, because his name is Siren Head. It has disproportionately long and thin limbs with arms almost as long as its entire body that end in huge bony hands. And where a human's head and neck would be, it has a thin pole with flesh and two sirens attached facing in opposite directions. It has wires snaking around its neck, hanging and tying into its upper shoulders, fusing the sirens to its neck by tendrils of skin capable of swiveling around, sort of like the head of an owl. Now, my first attempt at a siren head was a little too tall. I actually found with more of an arcing, crawling, almost on all fours with a hunched back, I started to get a bit more of that looming, creepy vibe, but still trying to get that tall, lanky, creepy stature. Now, I'm pretty happy with this rough of Siren Head, but with my more refined piece, I actually want to capture more vibe than detail. So I'm actually going to start off by painting the environment first. This is made all the easier with my Photoshop brushes, in which are a whole bunch of different landscape and terraining ones, so I can sort of move from the background to the foreground, moving through mountains, tree silhouettes and bushes, and then building up effects like fog and leaves blowing in the wind, rain and storm clouds, and ice caps to the distant mountains. Now, all of this is to set a really cool aesthetic foundation for my depiction of Siren Head. I wanted to try and paint a picture where you sort of feel like you know what it sounds like. And as my silhouette and looming tall posture of my Siren Head starts to come together, I can almost hear and feel the storm around me, with the wind buffeting, the lightning and rain slowly building across the crescendo of the rampaging nature around me. I can hear the eerie siren screeching through and calling past the buffeting winds as I, alone in the forest, run in fear from the strange gargantuan thing that hunts me. Now it's time to see what the original Siren head looks like and how mine compares. So this is this is where it all comes from. That's pretty cool. I like that. It's very gaunt, it is very spooky and quite tree-like in its nature. I like this one. I get a vibe that's like, that would go well as a campfire story, and if you had like a picture like that around. That's actually really cool. But much straighter than the version that I did, which is much more hunched and loomy, but still I feel like we sort of went for a similar-ish vibe. There's this depiction here with him sort of faded into the blue distance of the atmosphere, which I feel like I've seen somewhere before. There is something familiar about Siren Head, even though I don't explicitly remember having heard any stories of it. It does have that vibe of a story you feel like you've heard once, you know? Anyways, let me know how you think I did with Siren Head. Now, last but not least, we have the Rake. What is with these? Siren Head, Mr. Widemouth, the Rake. They're such whatever names. Tooth Finger, Dark Punnet, Tendril Lamp. I feel like making up a creepypasta wouldn't be that hard. Let's do this and then we'll make up a creepypasta, but I need to take this seriously. This is a scary story, you guys. The story of the Rake. The Rake is described as pale, thin, and like a naked humanoid figure or a large, deformed, hairless dog. Often seen as having white eyes, the Rake also has incredibly sharp claws, which is why it's dubbed the Rake. Because the Rake has sharp claws. It's like Reiki hands. It's like rakes for hands. The Rake originated in 4chan's B-board in late 2005, where a thread was started by an anonymous user who was like, hey, let's make a new monster. And people were like, okay. The thread started with this post where they said, a humanoid about 6 feet tall when standing, but usually crouches and walks on all fours. It has very pale skin. Face is blank, as in no nose, no mouth. However, it has 3 solid green eyes, 1 in the middle on its forehead and 2 on either side of its head. Will stand up and attack if approached. And when it attacks, it has a mouth that opens up, as if a hinged skull that opens at its chin, revealing many tiny but dull teeth. I have to say, I think they did a pretty cool job of coming up with a monster thing. Like the whole mouth opening up along the jawline, turning it into a weird snappy looking creepy, it's good. And I'm pretty happy with my depictions of the Rake. I wanted to practice my hands a little bit to try and get these rake-like claws that feel suited to the character. And in the end, I've found a couple of things in my sketches that I quite like that I then want to transfer to a bit more of a polished representation. As this YouTube channel that makes story times of these creepypastas, that's been really useful because Benny's actually pulled the audio from them and I've listened to them as I've drawn them. So it's really cool to sort of set the atmosphere and get some cool spooky story vibes happening while I create the art. And for the Rake, the whole waking up to see this thing watching you from the end of your bedroom is just such a freaky, creepy, cool idea that definitely feels like ghost story vibes, and I wanted to depict that, this hunched up, deformed creature. And I really want to get a pose that feels like you could mistake it for a weird, warped, hairless dog or a humanoid figure. So really hunched and arched, spiny back in a pose that's almost like a whippet dog in proportion, but sort of mangled and a little more muscular and human. And there's something about the weird jaw mouthing that I really like. So rather than having just a blank face version, I want to start having that mouth opening up slightly, ready to attack. This piece is really going to depend on lighting. Like you've just turned on the bedroom lamp and you just get the glow within the dark of the room of this creepy, bright-eyed creature staring at you from the end of your bed. All right, last but not least, we're going to find out what the Rake, the original Rake, looks like. Before we do, I just want to say, I feel like creepypastas, they just seem to be like a thing that people just sort of make, and they turn into a creepypasta just because more people join in. So after this, we're going to make our own. We're going to do the creepypastas together. So hold your horses. First, the original Rake. What? I mean, it's pretty creepy, but man, have they extrapolated. Like, I mean, I guess I don't know what came first because this whole thing was like, let's make a monster, but like this doesn't look like anything like what they decided the story was of the Rake. I don't know how, I'm not all that fussed with this one. That's just like a weird overexposed night vision-y image thing that looks nothing like the stories tell. I like mine better. But I think that's sort of a thing with the creepypastas, is the origins are quite obscure and open to interpretation, which is why the stories tend to flourish. Because if you tell a good story about it, then it just gives all this life and layers to the image. Resulting in, and there are these different like fan art depictions of the Rake, different in their own ways, but also sharing that sort of, that vision that they decided in their story formalizing. And then there's mine. So let me know, how'd I do? Does it feel creepypasta enough? All right, I promised you we were gonna do creepypastas. We're gonna do creepypastas. Now, I'm gonna do this in a future video with you, and I want you to join in with me. So in a future video, how this is gonna work is, I'm gonna give you some prompts, some pieces to make a creepypasta from. I want you to give me some prompts and pieces to make a creepypasta from in the comments, and we'll come back to this and help each other out. I mean, to make a creepypasta, you just need like, I mean, this was like Yoda, Furby, knife, murder, siren head, tall, lanky thing, tree man, dog man, fleshy dog man, mouth neck, claw.
Oh, you're scared of a claw!
So I'm going to get some help from people in my studio who have no idea what I'm doing to get some fantastic props for a creepypasta that you're going to make. Murray.
Hi.
Name a random and inane household object.
Eggbeater.
Thank you. Benny. Name a random descriptor.
Slimy.
Thank you. Alicia.
Hi.
Name a item of clothing.
Band t-shirt.
Band t-shirt. Perfect. Fawn. Give me an emotion.
Regret.
Perfect. Okay, they are your prompts to make a creepypasta out of. Something Eggbeater themed that is slimy, the story or visual involves a band t-shirt somehow, and the underlying theme is of regret. Tell your story and create your depiction and share it with me on Instagram at JAZZA'S Studios or on Blue Sky at jazzzastudios.com. Use the hashtag JazzyPasta. And I'll showcase some of the best ones in a future video. And in that future video, I want your help with some prompts in the comments down below. Can you please give me some random objects, descriptors, and emotions? And I will randomly draw upon them to create some of our own creepypastas. I don't know why I did a creepypasta video, it just felt like it. And it's the spirit of having fun. So I hope you've enjoyed this video as much as I have. If you have, make sure to smash that like button. And until, oh my God, it's Mr. Widemouth. Yeah, I love playing games. Oh no, not those games, Mr. Widemouth. No! Ah! 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 Ah!